Let's talk about The Conjuring 3.
Lorraine?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture at Pass, and today we are talking about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, so you guys don't have to worry about that. As always, this is the third official film in the Conjuring franchise. Yes, there's been a bunch of different spin-offs and things like that in the universe, but this is the third official major film. James Wan is not back this time. The director is actually Michael Chavez this time, and he is the guy who directed La Llorona. So was a little hesitant, going into the film knowing that, because wasn't really that big of a fan of that movie. But basically this time around, the film centers around this guy who he ends up murdering someone, and he uses the devil made me do it as, his defense, saying that he was possessed. So basically this sends Ed and Lorraine Warren out on the case to try and figure out, what happened, and trying to prove that this guy really was possessed, and then also trying to see if this connects to another case that they are working on as well. So that's basically the plot of this film without going into too many details. So the third Conjuring movie, this one really focuses on more of the relationship of the Warrens that they have with each other. I would say, honestly, compared to the other films, you do get that, obviously they have great chemistry. This is the third film with these characters, but they definitely chose to focus a lot on that relationship. Early on in the movie, and again, this isn't really a spoiler, but Ed, he has a heart attack, and that is a big factor in the rest of the movie because it kind of limits him and things like that, and what he's able to kind of do with his wife. So that that plays a big factor in things, and different things kind of happen with that. And the movie really does a good job of showing what these two characters, what they're willing to do for each other, and how far they're willing to go. So that, I did like that aspect of the film. But just so you guys know, going into this, there is, some scares and things like that, but this movie definitely put their relationship kind of front and center as far as the third film goes. Unfortunately, with this movie, outside of the opening scene, which was honestly, it started off with a bang, I was really excited. I was ooh, wow, I'm really hoping the rest of the film kind of has this feel. Not necessarily the specific thing that happens in the beginning, because we have seen that done multiple times in other movies, but just the way that it kind of felt, I was wow, it seems they're really kind of starting this thing off with a bang. But for me, that was really kind of one of the highest points in the movie, and from there it kind of it goes down from there, especially as far as the scares and just the creepiness factor as far as the rest of the film goes. There is little moments where there is some creepy imagery and things like that. But kind of for the most part, I really felt that there was a lot of really, cheap jump scares, and kind of just felt really like a Hollywood type of horror movie, which is really unfortunate. There's also an aspect in this movie that, I tried to kind of avoid most of the trailers for this movie, kind of, tried to go into it pretty, blind for the most part. But they do introduce an aspect of witchcraft in this film, and there was some parts of it that I was that's interesting, but then some of it I felt just really actually didn't work for me. So that was kind of a mixed bag as far as that aspect goes. Both, like I said, kind of in the beginning too, that both Patrick Wilson and Viera Farmiga, they were both really great as far as their characters go as Ed and Lorraine Warren. Obviously we've been with them for multiple films now, just not only just the main Conjuring movies, but we've seen them pop up in Annabelle and stuff like that too. So we've really kind of gotten to know these characters. Obviously their chemistry is really great with each other, and I did like the aspect that this the movie kind of really focused on their relationship. But I can see for people, if you're you want to see be there for more the scares and things like that, you're probably not going to like that as much, because I feel that was definitely focused on more than the the scariness, the creepiness aspect. But I thought they did a good job with these characters. You really cared about them, and the aspect of especially Ed having the heart attack, it did feel in this movie to a degree with those characters that there was some escalated tension as far as what could happen with these characters. We didn't know if he might die in the film, or what was kind of going to happen. So I did like that part, and I thought everyone else, as far as the other characters, I thought they were, solid to like, decent as far as like everyone else's like performances, that goes. Honestly, for me, I think it was just really the story kind of built around everything just was really kind of like lacking at times. Like I said, there was like, the witchcraft like aspect just kind of really was like a mixed bag for me. And just like, some of the scares and things like that, it's just like they just felt, really cheap. Like it wasn't something where, I was thinking about it later after watching the movie and it like really kind of like creeped me out, got underneath my skin. It's like, no, I was able to go to bed, like no problems, anything like that. So that was like really unfortunate. Like the first Conjuring is definitely, my favorite as far as like these movies go. And I remember like 2, I was a little disappointed. So I'm not sure between like 2 and 3, like which I would rank like after like number 1 is. I'd probably have to like think about that, maybe rewatch 2 a little bit more. But I definitely feel like this was a little bit of a letdown, for what I was kind of going in and what I was expecting as far as like the main like Conjuring like films go. So that was definitely like disappointing. And I think like, the directing, I thought that Michael Chavez, he did a decent job as far as like that goes. There wasn't like anything like really Super Bowl like memorable shots to me that'll like stick out other than, like I said, other than like that opening shot. Like I really wish we would have got, more of that throughout the film. There was some like, some scenes and stuff like that were set up that I did really appreciate. But from there, it kind of like went downhill. So, but yeah, no, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Overall, as far as like a film goes, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. So I think it's, it's definitely like worth checking out. For me, it's not something that I see myself wanting to like revisit like anytime like soon. So, but I mean, I do think it's like worth like checking out, for sure. Definitely if you have it like HBO Max, like obviously like watch it. And I do think it's like worth, checking out, especially if you're a big Conjuring fan, like a horror fan, going to theaters and at least giving it a try. So overall 6.5 for me, but I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are overall. So definitely let me know down below in the comments, have you seen the film already? What are your thoughts below? Where do you rank this film, at least in the, the main 3 Conjuring movies? Where do you rank it as far as that goes? And just like, I want to see your overall like Conjuring Universe ranking as well. So let me know down below in the comments. As always, guys, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Please give the video a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate it if you guys can do that. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.